All right, so Abby thought, look, the guy's cute. I mean, he's got to be safe. I'll just jump in his car with him, sure. I mean, I've never met him before, but I'll get in there.
Yeah, I mean, the number one thing people tell you growing up is don't get into cars with strangers. And I literally went running into some dude's car last week because he had floppy brown hair. But I swear...
That's all it took.
That's all it takes. That's the bare minimum for me. It's just floppy brown hair and 6'2".
He's in a car and he's sitting down, so you couldn't tell how tall he was.
You can tell.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have like a 6-foot radar. I'm like, beep, beep. It's like every man above 6 feet in the general vicinity, I can just have him on like a little radar.
It's like how high his head was over the steering wheel.
Yeah.
Like mine's going to go in between the steering wheel so you would know. It's just way above there, right?
The size of the hands, you can tell too. Like the way they're gripping it, just like 6 foot energy. Anyway.
All right.
So I've been really into health and wellness recently, and I've been trying to get 10,000 steps in a day because that's what people tell you to do. You got to get in at least 10,000 steps. So every night I try to go on a walk around this really beautiful park. It's very aesthetic. I can listen to my music. Feels like I'm in a music video. It's great. And also I get to, be a little bit healthy. So last week I trotted outside and I noticed like nobody's really out here. Normally it's like super crowded. I'm like dodging small children, big groups of girls who are taking up the entire sidewalk. So I'm like, there's probably nothing weird. And so I'm like kind of clocking that nobody's out here. And then it starts to drizzle. And I'm like, yes, everyone looked at the weather radar and I didn't. But you know what? I'm from Florida. I'm like half mermaid anyway. I've lived under sea level. This is normal for me. I'm swimming through the rain because it's kind of drizzly. And Gen Z will know that when it's raining and you're out in the world, maybe you're in a car and there's like some really romantic rain falling down the window. It feels like you're in a music video and there's only one song one can listen to as you're romanticizing your life.
Let the rain
So I turn on my Hillary Duff. I'm listening to Come and Clean. I'm feeling very clean, very romantic. And then
God is baptizing you right now. Let the romantic baptism begin.
That's how it feels. The holy water is drenching me. And people are walking by. They've got their umbrellas. They're like, do you need a rain jacket? I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm romanticizing my life.
Thank you. I'm good. You're not tall enough.
No, it's a lot of like moms, like with their children. They're like, honey, are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. Let me live my life. And so as I'm walking, it's starting to like really pick up speed. It's torrential downpouring at this point. My clothes are soaked. My hair is wet. My makeup is running down my face. It's no longer really romantic. But again, I'm from Florida. I have literally driven my moped scooter through a Category 2 hurricane. Like this is literally nothing. And then all of a sudden, off in the distance, as if it's a cherub descending down from the heavens, 2 headlights of a cherry red Ford F-150 come directly at me.
Come on in, girl. It's safe in here.
And it pulls up right beside me. The window rolls down. Skeet! And in the in the driver's seat.
I'd hope so.
All right. Well, so that man talented.
That's a very tall dude.
He's so tall, he has to drive from the passenger seat with his floppy brown hair and his big brown eyes and his big hands and his striped polo. I mean, it's literally what frat boy dreams are made of. It's like my type descended into the heavens, come to rescue me. And he's just like, ma'am, do you need a ride? And I'm just like, oh, yes, sir. I don't know why I was out here all alone anyway.
Oh, damsel in distress.
Right.
As if I wasn't willingly out there swimming in the Georgia rain. So he lets me in. I literally lost it. I get in the passenger seat. He grabs the seatbelt and buckles me in. Oh. I'm like, wow. Gentlemen.
Wow.
And I'm just so mesmerized by this man.
And I over here like,
how do you know he's not going to take that belt and put it around your neck?
Because he smelled good.
All right.
Jeffrey Dahmer was alluring to a lot of people as well, okay?
Listen, I got the sense. I'm like, I feel like if you were a Ted Bundy adjacent, I would know. I
wouldn't smell like this.
He wouldn't smell like this.
Okay.
So he's like, I noticed that you were out here, like, or he asked me, like, he's like, can I drop you off? I'm like, yes, my apartment's right up the road. And he goes, perfect.
Oh, wow.
And now you're showing him where you live.
I live right there.
Here's the address. It's 230 Main Street, and it's apartment 918.
I live all alone, by the way.
Right, and the security code is 1849.
Would you on the map? Would you like to drive past my place of employment so you can also see where I work from 6 to 10 a.m. every morning?
Maybe he knew I was on the Bert show. Maybe he's like, let me help out homegirl. now, which if you're listening, hey.
And in the closet, you'll find a shovel to bury me with.
All my good knives are in this drawer. So I'm like, oh, my apartment's up this way. You can take me in this direction. He's like, perfect. And he goes, I noticed you were walking the other direction. Were you not walking back to your apartment? And I was like, well, you know, the rain's just so romantic. And he's just like looking over at me like, who is this weirdo?
Now he thinks you're the murderer.
He's like, is this girl going to stab me?
Yeah, he's got to think that you're not stable either. I mean, she gets in a car with a complete stranger. You are a strange one.
It sends him in the opposite direction she was walking.
It's chivalry.
With Hillary Duff from the early 2000s blasting.
He's like, ma'am, why are you crying? I'm like, it's Hillary Duff.
Hey, can you turn your Bluetooth on so I can connect it to my phone so I can play this song?
No, I didn't want to connect to the aux because you know who he was also playing? The love of my life, Riley Green. I'm like, we are soulmates.
All the stars are aligning here.
Literally, I'm like, as long as this man doesn't murder me, this is going to be a great love story. So he pulls up to my apartment and I'm ready to like make my move. I've fallen in love. He's got the country music in the background. I've had my rom-com moment of him rescuing me from the side of the road. And so as I turn to like, not profess my love, but to make a move, he goes, oh, I recognize this apartment complex.
Oh, I murdered 2 women.
Yes, even better.
This is the same apartment complex.
What are the chances?
Man, this is going to be the trifecta.
Bert, believe it or not, it was worse than that. He goes, my girlfriend used to live here.
Oh, wah, wah.
And I'm like, that's so great. And I was like, well, when you break up with her, you know where to find me. And as I'm getting out of the car, I'm like, tell her I'm sorry I left the seat wet. And so it was raining. This is the worst part.
Which is clearly something she never did.
Yeah. So I'm getting out of the car. I go up to the front door of my apartment complex, and then I realize I left my keys in the car.
No, you did not.
No, in his truck?
In his truck. So I had to turn around. I'm making no eye contact with this man. I'm just like Helen Kellering it in the back of the seat, trying to get my keys. I grab my keys. I race upstairs. I have never been so humiliated or wet.
Why would you be humiliated?
Yeah.
Because I made a move. And I
You made a move by how? When?
By risking her life to be with this man.
Do you make a...
Getting in the car is not a move.
No wonder you're having trouble dating, girl. That's not a move.
Well, I thought I was putting the feelers out there. Like, tell her when you break up with her, come find me. You know where to find me. Apartment 814.
That is a move.
8th floor.
It's a really bad one, but that's a move.
The Bert Show.